I hope that women see that, like, when people tell you to be quiet, it's the time when you need to not be quiet, right? Like, we have voices and people are telling us not to use our voices. People are telling us to quiet down, people, and wait our turns, whatever. And like, that's BS.
I just want to start out on behalf of both of us and say thank you so much for creating such an honest and real depiction of what females have to go through in not only the music industry, but also entertainment industry as a whole. It was so powerful for both of us to watch.
Oh, that means a lot. I mean, I made it for women. I'm going to be very honest. Yeah, I hope that women see this. And I think, we've all had this experience and like we can maybe forgive ourselves a little bit for some of the mistakes that we've made in the name of love, right? Like, and our careers and our careers. We were asked to jump through ridiculous hoops. And we do it because we love what we do, but we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to do it.
100%.
I want to start out by speaking about one of the most striking and memorable lines to me, which was scorpions only interact between courtship or cannibalism. That you take care, sweetie, you look like a nice girl. And I wanted to ask you the significance of having the driver say this line, because up until this point in the film, we hadn't necessarily seen too many of those signs that Brandon might be dangerous, manipulative. So I'd love to know why that character and that line specifically, because I thought that was so powerful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we were really lucky to get Billy Gibbons to play that role. And, when we found out that he was going to come in and play it, originally the character didn't have a line that was quite as poignant, in my opinion. And knowing that was Billy, I really wanted him to be kind of like a desert sage. We don't know that he's a musician, but he's got we know he's Billy Gibbons. So in my mind, he recognizes, who Brandon is because, he recognizes the scorpion side of him, right? And he's, giving her this message, and for it to be somebody like Billy Gibbons, who's so established in the music industry and is a really good person. He's one of the good guys. I felt like he was the perfect person to give her that first warning. As we start to see some red flags.
Yeah, I love that. As soon as he said the line, I was like, whoa. Went back and listened to it again. I was like, yeah, it's a good line.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, on that note, there's so many key lines in this film. We were also talking about the line that says abuse, lack of pay, and lack of opportunity, and that women shouldn't put up with men's shit, or quotes that just really stood out. Is there a specific quote or moment in the film that you knew while writing would be super impactful to the final product?
I did have a lot of fun with the podcast scene because I wanted to play the devil's advocate a little bit too. And so having the ability to put her in that place where she kind of had to go on the defense and respond in this way that is very true and honest. And I think a lot of times as women, we feel like we have to package things in a polite, palatable way that we can't just say like, no, this is wrong and like screw this. And it's I wish that I could go back and be 25 again and tell more people to F off. And have better boundaries. I let way too many people get away with way too many things because I wanted to be liked or because I wanted to feel safe or whatever it was, right? And so to kind of go back and do that was very cathartic, right? It was like Aster isn't going to put up with this. She is going to call this out. And there were a couple of, I mean, I really am encouraged by younger women. I see more and more a fight for autonomy and a fight for, ownership of their art and their voices. And that's really encouraging. And so I wanted to give Aster a little bit of that. And I've seen a couple of really powerful female artists that have gone through struggles like this. Phoebe Bridgers, Taylor Swift, there's so many, more than we could name. But, I'm inspired by their abilities to stand up and speak the truth, even if it's not going to be popular.
Definitely. And I want to add on to that quickly. How have you seen the industry change since you first started your career, and how do you hope Off the Record contributes to that change you want to see?
Well, I wish I could say that it has changed so much and things have gotten so much better, but that wouldn't be truthful. I do think we had a moment of some reckoning. And unfortunately, I think that there was a pendulum swing almost kind of back away from that a little bit after. And I've had a lot of people say things to me like, "Oh, I was gonna make a comment, but I can't because of me too." And you're like, "Is that really progress? I don't know." Um, and I will say in making this movie, I had a pretty successful producer offer to mentor me, only to show up to a meeting in a towel. So, I guess there's this hope that you have that you'll get to this certain level where like maybe it'll stop. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't. Like, if anything, I feel like there are men who, if they see women, getting opportunities that they're going to, the false mentorship, right? It just drives me crazy. And it's obviously a big theme of the movie, right? Like these people that come in and they offer to help you and they don't want to help you. They want to do the opposite. And like, what is that? That's just, it's so gross. And I mean, it's not just men, unfortunately. There are some women that do it too. And it's just like, it's really devastating because obviously as an artist you're vulnerable and you have dreams and like that shouldn't be preyed upon, right? And like you see so much of it in every industry like you said. I mean, I chose the music industry because there are so many stories and I don't feel like they have had their reckoning, but I think this is a story that like women in every single industry deal with this crap. I mean, I worked at Blockbuster Video when I was a kid and my manager used to like, who was like 30, used to try to put porn on at night. And I was, underage, this is always happening and it sucks. And so I guess for me, I don't necessarily expect that like men are going to watch this movie and be like, we need to be better. But I hope that women see that like when people tell you to be quiet, it's the time when you need to not be quiet, right? Like we have voices and people are telling us not to use our voices. People are telling us to quiet down, people, and wait our turns, whatever. And like, that's BS. Like it is our turn and this is our place. It is our time. And like, if someone tells you to be quiet, question that. Why do they want you to be quiet? What is it that you're saying that they don't think should be out in the world, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had those experiences though. That's something no one should have to go through. So I'm sorry you had to go through those
Yeah.
experiences you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, so I put it in the movie, the towel scene. Luckily, the guy did not drop the towel with me, but after that happened, we went and put in the movie with the Brandon towel scene. And I was like, I don't really know what else to do. I'm not gonna be able to change this person, but I'm not gonna be quiet about it, right? I'm not gonna protect him. I mean, I'm not using his name because I don't want to get sued, but I'm also gonna tell the story, right? And I think that is the thing. It's like as women, we have the right to talk about the things that happen to us. And if they make other people uncomfortable, those people need to question why, right? It's on them. I'm tired of it all being on women, right? Like we get blamed for everything. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So no more of that.
It makes me think about that point in the movie where Aster's mom goes into the where Aster's on the couch and she starts talking to her about how and she apologizes for not necessarily giving her the tools to succeed as an artist, whether that as a viewer take that in a monetary sense, whether you take that as protecting yourself as a woman, as an artist, as a creative. I think it definitely, like you're saying, it shouldn't be on women to necessarily protect ourselves from other people. And I think that just interesting to think about that way.
Yeah, I
Especially,
mean, multi-generationally, of course, her mom as an artist went through so many things. And like, imagine how hard that would be to like encourage your child knowing these extra hardships they'll deal with. But you also we should be able to chase our dreams. You want to encourage your children and your friends to chase their dreams, right? It's just we have to do it in a smarter way as women. That's the reality, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not fair, but those hoops are there and we have to figure out how to navigate them. And I think as women helping each other, throwing the rope back down, sharing information. The movie was originally called The Whisper Network, and that is the idea of like women sharing information with each other, right? Like, watch out for this guy. And like, I've been on so many sets where it's that way. It's like as soon as you get on set, women are like, hey, by the way, it's almost always the hair and makeup ladies, God bless them. they're like, this guy is like super touchy-feely, this guy is whatever. Like they just, they're sharing that information, they're protecting. It's like this circle, right? And like, yeah, as women, we need to like keep that circle strong. We need to keep throwing the rope back down, making more seats at the table, and like it's collaboration over competition. It really has to be.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you again so much for your time, and congratulations on the film.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.